From the rolling hills of Yap to the low shores and landscapes of Madro, to the serenity of Kashrai, to the booming mountains of Pohnpei, to the everlasting lagoon of Chuk, I've lived, I've worked, I've taught, I've learned, I've shared and received, and I've listened to these people, their stories, my people, my stories. I used to live in Yap, where the rolling hills bleed red dirt, the same deep red we get from chewing betel nut but will never see on the clean streets, where the winding road to Mop sneaks you between unbothered villages, where the talk is quiet and the boast is scarce, where thews are worn in peaceful pride and colorful, vibrant grass skirts swing in the March sun for hundreds of curious and odd onlookers on their name day, where life is carried in a basket. Yap was home. Yap is home. I used to live in Madro, where the ocean greets you with a blunt first impression, where the horizon stares you down in the face and then blesses you with a peace offering of the most glorious sunset you've ever seen, where to conquer the highest peak in all the land is to jump off a bridge, where songs are sung in gifted spirit, always in unison, always in perfect harmony as if rehearsed for a lifetime, where the celebration of life is always the celebration of a lifetime because it needed to be, where it still needs to be. Madro was home. Madro is home. I used to live in Kashrai, where the dewy fog settles you in and nestles you down beneath the sleeping lady's bosom, where the green runs into green and blends into more green, only interrupted by the halting blue of the encroaching ocean, where the days are quiet and the laughter is loud, where the mangroves form mazes for you to get lost in, where the pace reminds you that life is not a race, but to be appreciated. Kashrai was home. Kashrai is home. I used to live in Pohnpei, where I was born. Where I was born, a Lasialap woman taking after my mothers and her mothers and her mothers before hers clan. Where in our municipality, only a Lasialap woman can give birth to a king. Where the mountains boom and demand the sky's attention, only to surrender back down to the land with waterfalls as if blessed by the heavens. Where the Sakao is strong and the culture for it stronger, where the stones of Nanmato raise up from our history and heritage collide, where my ancestors fought, where my children will live. Pohnpei was home. Pohnpei is home. I live in Chuk, where the lagoon scatters us like stars in an ocean sky, where the island warrior mentality is ever present only to succumb to the humility required of us, where the women form rainbows of colorful muumuus and skirts that will literally brighten up your day, where our reputation precedes us, in the same way every movie you thought you were going to hate but ended up loving does, where family is life. And if you come for one of us, you come for all of us, the hundreds of us, where if you ever wanted to learn what don't judge a book by its cover literally means, then I suggest you call up United Flight 155 and ask for my in-laws, yeah. Where I found love, where I found family, where I found home. You see, these are my homes of Micronesia. The common thread of coconut fiber that weaves it all together, one in every single one of these places, our livelihoods, our livelihoods, our livelihoods, our names, our history, our legacy, our blood, our bones, our breath, is anchored in our oceans and burrowed in our land too. For us, conservation and sustainability are not just words we throw around at meetings and on paper, but lived every single day. 3, it's in the way my grandmother's been able to feed generations of her children from the fruit of her own 2 hands. 4, it's in the way my brothers and uncles negotiate the ocean's catch while their mothers beg the ocean's mercy for their safe return home. 5, we can't afford the luxury of denying science that proves climate change puts all of this into a ticking time bomb that we all have our fingers on. 6, because for us, when we turn a blind eye, we get slapped in the face on the other side. With 7, king tides that engulfed Madro and Kashrai. 8, relentless back-to-back typhoons that swept Pohnpei, Chuk, and Ulithi. 9, droughts that suck the life and water out of all of us. 10, creeping sea levels that taps all parents on the shoulder like a nightmare that our children haven't even had yet. 10, I heard one of your presidential candidates doesn't even believe in climate change. 10, it doesn't matter how much money he has. God forbid if elected, he cannot afford to ignore this too. 10, I once said to my students that if our islands are too small to be seen on a map, then you make them see you. 10, I'm saying it again. 10, I'll say it for the rest of my life. 10, we cannot afford to keep counting to 11. So 10, let's end it here.